On August 14th, we started our game Orc Survivor. On December 1st, it will finally launch on Steam into early access. It's been a lot of work to get to this point, but we've made a really fun game that I'm excited to show you. In this video, I'm going to cover how we got started, the current state of the game, and what we plan to do next. My co-founder and I are both software engineers. In fact, if you've ever bought anything over the internet, it likely used some of the code that we wrote. Although we love to play games and are accomplished programmers, we've never managed to make a game ourselves. In college, we worked together for a few weeks on a game inspired by Sea Traders, an obscure game for the Game Boy Advance that I had bought from Costco for $3. In this game, you sail around buying low and selling high. We never completed our version of this game, since we tried to make the game engine ourselves, a classic mistake. 8 years later, we decided to try again. We sat down and started brainstorming. What should we make? We've put a few hundred hours into Vampire Survivors, and making a Survivor-style game was a perfect fit. These kind of games are very simple, and it can be made on a short timeline and a smaller budget. Since we've never delivered a game before, and have no budget, keeping things as simple as possible will make everything much easier. Orc Survivor has two main inspirations. The first is Vampire Survivors, but our game is more action-packed. Vampire Survivors can often have a lot of downtime. I've had many runs where I could walk away from the computer at the 10-minute mark. Our game will also have multiple classes, each with their own unique playstyle and weapons. The warrior has a classic feel, while the rogue emphasizes movement and the mage emphasizes buffs and debuffs. Our second inspiration is Warcraft 3. From Warcraft 3 we take the concept of an orc, and we want to emulate the brighter, more cartoon style of Blizzard art. Initially, we even wanted to make our game isometric, but our skills are all in programming, not in art, so this would be a very difficult task for us. Instead, we kept it simpler into a 2D pixel art style, using an asset pack by Final Boss Blues. But we did get to add these fun menus, which remind me of the Warcraft 3 menus. With these two inspirations, we can come up with a pitch for our game. Survivor-like with bright colors, quick runs, and an orc with a giant head. Just look at that thing. With this idea in mind, we created an initial delivery timeline. After 1 month, we wanted to deliver the base for our game, with a workable demo. And after month 3, we wanted to have the game complete and released. We hit our 1 month goal, but missed the 3 month goal by a couple months, which isn't that bad for software estimation. At the end of the first month, we had a playable demo with 10 weapons. We had all the essentials, and the game was even already fun to play. We had menus, experience gems and leveling up, treasure chests with a fancy animation, health, damage, and game overs, a variety of different enemies, and a variety of different weapons. We even had bosses. But now we've been working for 2 more months. If we already have the essentials in place, what's taken so much time? There's 2 answers to this question. 1, polish, and 2, our meta progression. Both of these make the game feel so much better. Polish includes changes both big and small. We redid our menus, which makes everything look so much cleaner and consistent. We added a little pivot animation to our orc, which makes playing the game feel better. We like this so much that we're even going to turn this mechanic into a weapon for the rogue. We added controller support for those that prefer to play that way. We updated our game with all the feedback from our amazing playtesters and all of the bugs they found along the way, such as an infinite damage glitch with the spear. We had to rewrite our collision system to be able to scale for the number of enemies we wanted to have. And we updated our bosses to be unique enemies, with their own names and announcements, such as the fearsome Spiralius and the not quite as fearsome Bigus Pigus. Individually, each of these little polish updates improved the game by just a little bit, but together they improved everything by a lot. In these 2 months, we also created our meta progression systems. These systems are unlocks that increase the capabilities for every future run you do, and are a staple of the genre. Our game has a few of these systems now. We have an armory. At the armory, you rank up your weapons and it unlocks modifiers. These modifiers can be applied to the weapon, changing how it behaves. These changes can be small, like just changing its stats, or large, like changing how it attacks completely. We also have boons. These are stat modifiers that are unlocked with gold, increasing your power between runs. There's also quests and challenges. These are goals to complete within a run, and they unlock gold or new game features, as well as unlocking our final system, hats. These hats adorn the large head of the orc, and are purely cosmetic, but it does keep your head warm. So what's next? With this early access release, we're just getting started. We will be working on Orc Survivor for at least a couple more months. We want to add the rogue class and the mage class. We'll also be adding 2 new maps, the underground and the palace. Each of these maps will have their own bosses, achievements, and enemies. One big goal in this early access process is delivering a weekly release. Throughout the months of early access, we'll be updating the game every Friday with a few more hours of content. This is a unique experience that you no longer can have once a game is fully released, so now is the time to get involved. It would mean a lot if you go check out our game. It has been a blast to develop and it's a blast to play. Go check it out.